The filter-free diary. Uh,
It's 4:06, and yes, this is an experiment, and yes, this is a project, and yes, I am like using this to capture my own data so I can reflect about it. Yes, I'm doing those things. But I'm doing those things because I've never done those things. I mean, not in a video format, anyways. Always writing. I'm a writer. I write things down. In the age of technology, I still feel better with paper and pen and just writing. I'm very antiquated, I'm sure. Probably has something to do with taking choreography. Fuck. I can never say that word, but you know, fancy writing. That was a class I had to take at one point. Anyways, so writing has always been like a strong backbone, and it never occurred to me to record video because, you know, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and when you write something, you have control, like a whole lot of control over you know, that one single line of data that comes out. But when you record something, there's just a whole plethora of data strands coming off, you know, and the thing is it can be a really intense and unique experience, and of course it can. But like that movie Pandora with the blue monkeys, you know how the first one starts off where he's like told he needs to record his thoughts and his daily journal and a video every day to help him, you know? Good movie. You should totally see it if you haven't. Anyways, that's the thing that he's supposed to do. And I'm like, that makes sense. You know, but I always do it in written form, and not for nothing. Star Trek. That video log, like that whole episode is basically you're supposed to get that's their log. I love that. I love that so much. It's very creatively done, and anyways, so so that was definitely a premise for, you know, doing all this, you know, was to try that next level of data capturing, you know, because not for nothing, when you have a voice, when you have a voice, don't you add an attitude? Don't you add a perception? Don't you add a flavor to it? Isn't that what we're all doing? Choosing the words we choose, talking about the things we talk about. But when it is captured you in the moment, isn't it a much more, well, can't it be a much more rich experience? Like, not for nothing, I know there's a lot of editing out there, and I ain't got it in me to be editing this fucking shit more than popping it into a fucking template. I hope you obviously, right? Like I make a cartoon, one cartoon per season. Yeah, I am just lowballing this shit for entertainment purposes. Anyways. So the point is, you know, a more pure form of data, at least for my own personal record, is what it was going to be. And the reflection of that kind of can echo the way some people think, right? Like some people think in a voice. And when you think in a voice, there's always a tone behind it. And if you used to hear something repetitively, then chances are the thing that you hear in your inner voice echoes that memory that was intensely ran over and over. right? But if instead you think in picture, right? Which is much more objective if you think about it, because now you're capturing data as you see it, and you can see the person that may have been saying the angry tone thing over and over, but then you can also see more than just that, right? You can see, you know, how you acted, how things went, whatever, whatever, whatever. And it's a much more objective picture. And some people have both. And not for nothing, I now have both. But I did start off with just the monotone, or whatever, the monologue. That's what it's called. Not monotone. The monologue. I did start off with that. But as I developed, believe it or not, my math, I needed more. I needed a faster way to process data, and visually worked because, math gets into a lot of visual stuff. As soon as you start doing to one side of the equation what you're doing to the other side of the equation, that can transition into a visual thing very easily for me. So I left the monologue and went into the visual thing. But I actually had to bring the monologue back. And I did it in 2020 when I needed to solve my own problems and reflect myself. I needed to give myself a voice, which meant I needed to turn that thing back on. And damn. Have a good afternoon.